After having pushed the Maker and his Cabal too far, the vengeful villains are ready to unleash not one but two secret weapons. What'll happen next? Well, let's hop into the pages of the Ultimates issue number 14 and find what happens next together, shall we? So then, as we join the book, we see that Captain America and Hawkeye are staking out another Roxxon oil pipeline. As we discover via the dialogue, these two are getting pretty damn good at blowing up oil pipelines, so much to the point Roxxon has shelled out for extra security. Steve is reticent about this job, but Charlie is more dedicated than ever. In fact, they even make a bet with Steve that they can take this operation down in only 20 minutes. Little do our two heroes know, back at Roxxon HQ, their actions are actually the inciting incident that brought together some of the most powerful captains of industry across the American territories. We got Rex Bonhurst, the head of Roxxon Oil, who looks every bit the boss hog you think he would. Then of course you have his contemporaries from across the corporate landscape, all disruptors and job creators. It's gross just saying, isn't it? There's Nicodemus West, a deep cut of a Doctor Strange villain who in this world runs Alchemax, a company that makes pharmaceuticals. Or at least they did until the Ultimates stole away a bunch of their research, meaning that everyday Joe Schmoes are able to create their own proprietary cures for cancer and AIDS. Then there's Justine Hammer, classic Iron Man foe and weapons manufacturer. Before, the heroes were just blowing up her stock, but now they're actually stealing it and arming insurgent rebels for the revolution to come. After that, we have the mysterious scientist supreme of AIM, the everything company. Even the other big fat cats don't exactly know what this guy does until he explains they're in the information business. Mainly social media and the suppression of information, which is a lot more difficult now because Iron Lad has created a brand new app that lets people share news and bypass all the regular Maker-controlled channels. By far, though, my favorite member of this meeting is actually Obelette Midas, daughter of Midas, who you'll remember actually used his fortune to buy the mostly empty title of American president. She also oversees her father's prison empire, which nowadays isn't doing so good, as Luke Cage is actively not only taking them over, but turning them into training grounds for the next generation of superheroes. She's taking it pretty well, though, when Rex says, "By God, they crippled your father. They embarrassed and humiliated you in front of the whole world. You must feel terrible," only for her to comedically respond by saying, "Yes, it's so hot, isn't it?" Oh, alright then, I guess the whole leather doll look isn't just a supervillain costuming choice, it's an actual lifestyle for this lady. Fair enough. This group, together with their silent partner, who is ultimately revealed to be none other than Dosta, actually control 28% of the world's wealth. And man, you know what? This is definitely a comic book fantasy, because in the real world, these guys would control like, what, 99% of the world's wealth? But in this world, it only makes them just a little less evil and a little less more powerful than the rest of the Maker's Cabal. Still though, they're gonna fight tooth and nail to protect every cent of their ill-gotten gain, and to do that, Dosta has sent them over a special ringer, Emma Frost, the White Queen of the Hellfire Club, as well as Madam of the Frost Home for Wayward Youths. Emma says that she has trained 2-star pupils who she thinks will be absolutely perfect in taking the fight directly to the Ultimates, and if the title wasn't a dead giveaway, those pupils turn out to be none other than the twins, Wanda and Pietro Maximoff, though they don't actually call them Quicksilver or Scarlet Witch just yet. And oh man, how fun is that? These two characters started as villains over in the 616 universe, and here once again they start off working for the antagonist to try and take down Captain America and Hawkeye. As you might have guessed, our two heroes are incredibly blindsided by the appearance of these super-powered youths. Quicksilver can move at Mach speed, allowing him to not only run circles but beat the ever-loving crap out of poor Cap. Then you have Scarlet Witch Wanda, whose mastery over chaos causes all sorts of unseen circumstances wherever she goes. Hawkeye can't even get a shot off on her, as the arrows either go wide or their fingers slip on the bow completely. Yeah, pretty embarrassing. Now, despite a pretty strong entrance and showing, Steve isn't exactly scared. He keeps his composure, knowing full well that even though these two twins are incredibly powerful, they're also young and mostly untested. Cap decides to work a little divide and conquer by switching opponents with with Hawkeye, one shield bash to the face later, and Wanda ends up getting knocked out. Hey, you can have all the abracadabra you want, but a shield to the face is a shield to the face. With his beloved sister down, Quicksilver is 100% officially off his game. He's angry, and starts quite literally running circles around Cap. However, this is exactly where Steve wants him, the idea being that this kid is running so fast he is creating an incredible amount of heat via friction. All Hawkeye needs to do is get a very important shot off on one of the pipelines, and in doing so, releasing a bunch of oil into the air. This oil ends up causing a massive fire, which engulfs Quicksilver completely. Oh, he doesn't die. The kinetic energy he's conducting manages to protect him from the worst of it, but the fire steals all the air from his lungs, rendering him completely harmless. Emma's pretty damn bummed that her two star pupils were taken down so easily, but the day isn't a total loss, as this appearance was actually part of a much bigger mission for Dosta. You see, the Black King of the Hellfire Club was afraid that all of his other CEO cronies were slowly but surely starting to plot against him. In fact, he was certain of it. He wouldn't have hired them if they didn't have that sort of killer instinct, but at the same time, he can't trust them to work for him any longer, so he sent Emma in to off them. Well, except for Obelette, that is. Emma actually took a liking to her right away, and I mean, hey, it looks like they attend the same parties, right? In fact, her last words are, "Be a good girl, stick with me, and I'll show you how to take over the world." Well, damn, it's official. Emma Frost is a baddie regardless of the universe. Of course, this also ends up creating quite the moral conundrum for Captain America and Hawkeye. They may have defeated the twins, but now the question becomes, what the hell do they do with them? They're clearly very dangerous, but also too young to know any better, and also, do the Ultimates take prisoners now? Should they? Well, I guess we'll have to read the next issue to find out. And so that was the Ultimates issue number 14, everybody, and overall I thought Dennis Camp managed to deliver another ultra fun, ultra exciting, ultra topical, and fun superhero comic. I like this story for really showcasing the pecking order that exists in this Ultimate universe under the Maker and his Cabal. It doesn't matter if you're the president or even an ultra wealthy CEO, everyone renders unto the guys in charge, or else, heck, you could even serve loyally and there's still a good chance you're gonna get offed by them, because in this world, everyone, and I mean everyone, is disposable. Hell, there's a line in this issue too that I'm sure is going to end up being a lot more cutting than the writer initially meant it to be. Basically, Dosta says, "Good job offing the competition. Now be sure to frame the Ultimates for their deaths. Maybe it'll help create some sympathy for the CEO class." Ooh. Now, in fairness, we don't actually get to spend a lot of time with Wanda and Pietro to get to know them in this issue, but I do actually appreciate what's done with them. For one, their costumes are fun spins on the classics, and I dig the conundrum that their very existence creates for Captain America and the others. Are we going to take these kids in as prisoners? Should we adopt them? Can we maybe deprogram what Frost and the Cabal did to them? Also, if Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver are mutants like I assume they are, does that also mean that the Ultimates are going to have to take an interest in what's going on in the X-Men adjacent books? And if so, what's that gonna look like? I don't know, but I'm definitely invested enough to find out where it's all gonna go. At the end of the day, I would give this one a much deserved 8 out of 10. Maybe not as strong as the previous issue, but still pretty damn good. Hey there everyone, it's your pal Cape Joel again, and if you're seeing my face right now, that means you watched to the end of the video, and I'll always be grateful for that. Retention helps in this crazy YouTube game, and so does becoming a patron. If you head on down to the description, you can find a link to my Patreon page. Recently just redid all the tiers, a lot of cool stuff offering up there, exclusive commentaries, exclusive polls, behind the scenes concept art for Capes and Quest. That's the brand new D&D show I've started soon. Never been a better time to become a patron. You can become a patron for as little as $1 a month and help the channel grow, and help me continue to deliver content like what you just saw. So I want to thank you all, and I will see you again next time. Bye bye.